what I want to talk to y'all about is you always hear me say you can't out-train a bad diet, right? So what I want to teach you this morning are 5 main things that you can look at when you go to the grocery store if you decide, should I put this in my basket or should I not? So the 5 things that I want to touch on this morning are serving size. When you pick up something, you want to look at the serving size. If I eat this whole thing, is it 1 serving? Is it 3 servings? Is it 5 servings? So you want to look at the serving size. You want to look at the front of the label claims, and you want to look past the front of the label because it's going to say heart healthy, you know, things like that that are going to trick you. But you're going to leave here today and you're not going to be tricked. Look for sugar. Look for sodium, and look at the actual ingredients. Okay, so I'm going to break those down and start with serving size. So this pickle you see at gas stations, and the reason I picked this is because how many servings do you think, we're talking about serving size, so if you ate this, how many servings do you think would be in here?
2.
4. You've seen that. You would think 2 or 3, right? There's 9 servings of this. 9 servings. Wow. So we're going to get back to that when I talk about sodium. So that is just an example of looking to see how many servings are in a package. Then the other thing about serving size is Pam. All right, so Pam, Pam's fine, it's oil. And you look at the front of the label claim, so this is the second thing, and it says for fat-free cooking. Okay, so how many of you are like, fat-free, sweet? Fat-free? Right? We've all done it. Okay, so how many serving sizes do you think or how many servings do you think are in here? In one thing of Pam? Any guesses?
30. Oh, dude. 300.
Okay. 529.
Oh, cool.
Which means that each serving is 1/3 of a second. Like, how do you even do that? Okay, so we're going with all of this fat-free cooking, and the serving size is only 1/3 of a second, if you can even get 1/3 of a second out of there. So the point is to pay attention to what your serving size is. Not saying Pam is bad, but it's oil. We all know the oil has calories and fat. So the point is not that Pam is bad, but to pay attention of what you're using, what you're cooking with, and just being aware of looking past the front of the label claims of fat-free. Because all the FDA regulates is right in here what's on the back of the label. So if it's less than 1/2 gram of whatever, they can say it's free. So this is less than 1/2 gram per serving. That's why they made it 1/3 of a second. They can say it's fat-free. So just pay attention to that and look at what you're doing there. All right, so that brings us to sugar. We all know, obviously, that sodas, are not good for us. But have you ever really stopped to think about how much sugar is actually in a soda? And so let's take what we've learned so far. We're going to look and see how many servings are in here. Well, there's 2 servings. So we need to multiply. And actually, they were so kind and did 2 servings of what it is. Most of the time, they don't do that, and you have to multiply it out. But if you drink this whole thing, it's 65 grams of sugar. Well, our brain doesn't think in grams. So a little trick for you to help when you're calculating when you're at the store is divide the grams by 4. 4 grams equals 1 teaspoon of sugar. We know what a teaspoon looks like, right? So, all right, I'm going to need my helper here. Steve is going to measure out, and I'm going to keep talking. He's just going to measure here, and you don't have to be precise, just scoop. So 65, that's a little over 16 teaspoons. So just scoop that away, and we're going to see what that looks like. But while he's doing that, let's take a look at this Arizona pomegranate green tea. Antioxidants. Ooh, antioxidants healthy, right? Well, let's take a look and see if this is really healthy. Again, there's 8 ounces per serving, but there's 2 in here, so we've got to multiply whatever it says. So the sugars are 18 for 1 serving. Okay, so we've got to multiply that. So 36 divided by how many? 4.
90 teaspoons.
Yep. So we got 9 teaspoons. So something that they look past the front of the label claims, and you're putting a lot of sugar in your body with this. All right, so the next time that you go to drink a Coke, I want you to think about this. This is what you're putting in your body, which is going to send your blood sugar through the roof go into all of the things that happen in our bodies when we digest this much sugar. So I wanted to show you that visual to really think about it. It's not just soda, like I said. It's the Arizona tea. It's whatever is out there that makes you think is healthy. And if you came to the Fed Up documentary that we did, you'll find that sugar is in everything. So just pay attention, divide by 4 so you can visualize what's in there. And you know, what I've learned from my clients is they go, but I drink Sprite, it's caffeine free. Okay? Yes. So this little thing of Sprite has 38 grams of sugar in it. Wow. Okay, so again, we're around that 9, almost 10 teaspoons of sugar. So pay attention to your sugars. Not all sugar's bad. You know, we all need some sugar. It helps carbohydrates and all that, but just pay attention. That's my whole point, is paying attention of how much you're digesting.
No, Starbucks drinks.
Yes. Oh, that's a whole other thing. Yes.
Can you repeat that conversion again?
4, just divide by 4. 4 grams equals 1 teaspoon. Okay? All right, so let's talk about sodium. Is one of the other things people kind of forget to look about. Well, why is sodium important? Too much sodium leads to heart disease, clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and of course that annoying belly bloat that happens sometimes if you wake up, your rings are all tight. Too much sodium. Let's go back to this pickle, okay? Yum.
Who actually eats those?
So,
I don't know.
the pickle that we said had 9 servings, right?
Years probably.
So, 1 serving is 390 milligrams.
Oh my God.
So we have to multiply that by 9, which I think I made a note.
2,700.
2,700. 2,700.
So, okay, so we're only supposed to get 2,300 for the whole day of our sodium. So pay attention to your sodium, because what happens to our food is that back in the 90s, it was fat-free craze. So what happens when you take fat out? They add a bunch of sugar and they add a bunch of salt. So just again, this is all about awareness and what to look for. It's not about that you can never have this if you really want it. But it's about being aware and knowing what you're doing. Taking that into your own hands and being empowered with your knowledge.
Yeah, if you would eat that pickle,
Yeah.
please let us know.
We don't know, we're friends. All right, so then we move on to the 5th thing that you need to look at, which is the actual ingredients. So a lot of times people just focus on calories and fat, and that's all they look at. But dig down and look at what's actually in your foods. 2 of the main things that I teach my clients to stay away from are partially hydrogenated oils. Okay, that is fake. Your body doesn't know how to process it, so it stores it as fat. Partially hydrogenated oils. For example, peanut butter, like Jif, has that in it. So you want to get natural peanut butter. So on the back of this, so we, look at what we've learned so far. This is 1 serving. Okay, cool. 1.5 grams of fat. Sodium's only 80. Okay, so this says 99% fat-free. So you're thinking, cool, I've heard yogurt's a good snack. Sugar, 27 grams. 27 grams, so divide by 4, it's about 7, 8. I mean, that's a lot of sugar for this little tiny bit. And it's only 5 grams of protein. So a better option, this is what I eat. Okay, Stonyfield's Greek organic yogurt. You really want to stick with organic with your dairy. But as you look back here, there is only 9 grams of sugar and none of it's added. By the way, this has high fructose corn syrup. That was the other thing. So partially hydrogenated oils and high fructose corn syrup are 2 major things you want to stay away from. So this has only 9 grams of sugar and none of it's added. It's just the natural dairy sugar that's in dairy. And then you've got 23 grams of protein for your serving. So that's a much better ratio there. So those are the 5 things. You want to look at serving size. You want to look past the front of the label claims. You want to check out the sugar, divide by 4 so you can visually see what that's going to be. Check out your sodium and look at your ingredients.
What was the daily sodium?
2,300. And that's if you don't have high blood pressure or heart disease. If you have any issues, you really want to keep it to 1,500. So all that to say that Life Shots and Vibe is a great way. It's not a fix-all, but it's an easy thing that you can add into your daily life to fill in the holes and the gaps of the nutrition that you're not getting, and to grab and go. So, you know, when you're running out the door, this is an awesome breakfast, or you're running around lunch, instead of going through a drive-through, you have your Vibe ready, just add ice cold water. Your Life Shots, instead of that Coke, if you need a pick-me-up, instead of, you know, those energy drinks, take your Life Shots. And there's a sugar-free Life Shots that has no artificial sweeteners. So that is your empowerment for the day, so that when you go to the grocery store the next time, you can be empowered and really look at what you're putting into your body. So Colleen Riddle with Life Shots, because you can't out-train a bad diet. Thank you.